Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classics that's non-classic. This is episode number 1121, Doubleshot number 1015. I got two DC trades for you, both of whom featuring Batman and Superman. First up it is Justice League America, When Worlds Collide. Yeah, the main part of the storyline, first part of the storyline is to put the Justice League versus the Shadow Cabinet from the Milestone imprint. Yep, these guys. Now, the issues in here, when you see this, you're probably like, wait, why did it skip an issue for? And the next trade kind of did the same thing too. Okay, now the issues that are in here are the following: 27, 28, 30 to 34, Volume 2 for Justice League America. Now, you're probably thinking, wait, why would they skip over 29 for? Well, DC had a very stupid policy back in the day, from what I can tell. I don't know if this is really true. I've never asked him about this. But apparently, if the issue was not written by the regular writer of the book, skip it. Don't put it in trade. And you're probably thinking, okay, maybe they'll put issue 35 in the next trade. The next trade was this one, Team History, which covered issues 38 to 43. Yes, I'm not kidding about that. 38-43. Basically, these two trades skipped over 4 issues with no reason. I've never actually asked him. I can't ask Dwayne McDuff about this because the guy passed away 12 years ago, so I can't ask him about it. I could ask anybody. I'm sure that there probably is a reason for this, but as far as I know, there has been no explanation of why these 4 issues were skipped over. Oh, and by the way, what happened in issue 35-37? It was a 3-part of the Justice League versus the Royal Flush Gang. Yep. That was what skipped over. So you skipped over an actual really good, interesting story and go straight James Harpus's run. Oh, and who wrote these 4 issues skipped over? Was it some no-name writer? No. These issues written by the late, great Leen Wein. The guy who passed away 3 years ago. Yes, one of the guys that co-created characters like Wolverine, Swamp Thing, Storm, Colossus, Nightcrawler. The guy created these awesome characters. And yet he wrote 4 issues in this volume that were not put in trade. To this day, I don't know why in the world this was. I wasn't reading at this point. At this point in time, I was just sticking straight to Marvel. I didn't get into DC until 10 years ago. But despite that, now what about the storyline? Okay, the storyline is simply this. The Shadow Cabinet, led by Icon, yes, one of 2 characters who part of the Shadow Cabinet, who have their own solo book. Shadow Cabinet has their own book before, where Hardware was part of that group. It's kind of one of their 2 groups the Milestone imprint had. Those who know what the Milestone imprint was, it was an imprint published back in the 1990s. It was an imprint started by the late great Dwayne McDuff, the guy who wrote this storyline. Who did? Now you're probably thinking, okay, was there any character from this imprint actually people do know of? Yes, Static Shock. Yep. This is the imprint where Static Shock came from. Yeah, and those of you fans of Young Justice, this is where Icon made his first ever comic book appearance. A guy who showed up on episodes of Young Justice, along with his sidekick Rocket. She shows up in here as well. Now, the members here are members of this group are the following. Besides Icon and Hardware, 2 characters who have their own solo books. Icon, I think, lasted about 44 issues. Yeah, these characters had a lot of issues. Lasted for a few years. The Shadow Cabinet here are comprised of these following characters. Icon. He's basically, in a way, from what I can tell by him, he seems like the Milestone imprint's version of Superman. Hardware. It seems like for this character, he seems like DC's take on Spider-Man 2099 and Iron Man. That simple. And by the way, those of you familiar with Alpha Industries, the company that was in Static Shock TV show, the company, the guy who's the head of the company, actually made his debut in the first issue of Hardware. I am not kidding about that. That's where he came from. These are the other characters. Blitzen, Donner. No, these are not taken from one of the 8 Rainier. These are unrelated. Gloria Medina, Itoa, Iron Butterfly, Payback, Starlight, and Twilight. One of these characters, Blitzen, she has an encounter with the Flash in here in this storyline, and she has never heard of the Flash. Nope, she has never have. Why? Because they referenced. Now, there was a similar title storyline with the same name as this one, with Worlds Collide, published back in the 90s, that crossed over with All Books Superman. Yeah, it was a Superman crossover, the Milestone print, which, that was interesting. Now, I read part of it. It's actually a pretty good, interesting storyline. Yep. And the Shadow Cabinet here because they went to resurrection to stop this other character. Now you're probably thinking, the Shadow Cabinet. That name sounds very familiar. Those who read Stormwatch, they were basically the people who Stormwatch reported to. Yes, the Shadow Cabinet, the Milestone print was nothing like that. Shadow Cabinet, from what I can tell, was probably Milestone's Justice League. Yeah, along with the Blood Syndicate. Yeah, that was another group they came up with. Also, we have an appearance by Hawkman. Yep. Also, we sort of had the relationship between Roy Harper and Hawkgirl. Because, here's the thing. When we first see these two, they're having sex, and Hawkgirl says, Carter. That takes Roy off, so he gets dressed and leaves the room. All because she said her ex-boyfriend's name to him. At least he called him that. Yep. And the Shadow Cabinet here, and by the way they're written here, they don't explain their actions at all. Now, here is kind of the strange thing about this. The way Dwayne McDuffie writes the characters, the Shadow Cabinet, that they don't explain their actions, and he kind of writes them the way, from what I can tell, he may have written them back in the 90s. Basically, we don't offer any explanation of why they're here, or why the heck they broke into the Justice League Watchtower. Yeah, they broke in there. Well, there was a villain who popped up in the storyline, and we also have appearance by Hawkman. He's here because Shadow 3 is threatening the entire freaking planet. Why? Because he has his power. Yeah, and by the way, that's actually connected to the Shadow Cabinet. That's why they're here. And yes, we do have a brief scuffle between the Justice League and the Shadow Cabinet, which is a pretty interesting fight. We even have Superman versus Icon. Yeah, that does happen here. And we also see that, now you're probably thinking, okay, who is this smoking hot babe in the middle who's right here? That is Dr. Light. Now you're probably thinking, wait, Dr. Light, you mean the rapist? No, not that Dr. Light. This is a completely unrelated character. Yeah, this is the female Dr. Light who is Asian. Yep, Asian. And here's kind of the strange thing about this particular storyline. Several big events were happening, like they kept interfering with whatever Dwayne McDuffie was trying to do with this book. Yes, first we have Final Crisis happen, which had Batman die and have Superman be on call because of stuff he mentioned New Krypton. Yeah, the references basically happens in his book. We also have it where, like, Hal Jordan and Green Arrow leave the team to form their own separate Justice League. Yeah, that's a connection to Cry for Justice, by the way. Yeah, that says a Cry for Justice. Though there's no mention of Blackest Night in here, by the way. Yeah, there's no mention of that. And the thing is, Black Canary finds out about this special room that apparently Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman had built. But they actually requested this thing be built by Steel. Yeah, Steel built this place. And Black Canary basically calls out their bullcrap and tells them, why would you keep this room a secret for? Because you pointed me the chairwoman because you three couldn't handle it. Yeah, because it's pointed out that, like, Batman built the Olmecs, referencing Identity Crisis. The fact that Wonder Woman killed Maxwell Lord. Superman, don't really say. Yeah, I was mentioning Infinite Crisis, which I thought that was quite nice. The fact Dwayne McDuffie referenced in here. And then, like, you read this, like, oh, next issue, Batman's dead. Like, what the heck happened? Read Final Crisis. The book doesn't say that at all. There's no editors, no, hey, you want to know what happened? Read Final Crisis. You want to know what happened with Hal Jordan and Oliver Queen? Read Justice League Cry for Justice. That's what that setup is for. And, oh yeah, and by the way, it's written here the reason why they left, because they don't like how Black Canary runs the Justice League. Yep, that's simply the gist of it. Now, the whole thing of splitting a team in half, this kind of similar thing happened with the JSA. Though that brought about a successful spin-off book, JSA All-Stars. Not in the case of Cry for Justice. My guess is DC really wanted to split some of these big teams up, like split them into like 2 teams. And so, Black Canary decided to disband the Justice League. Yep, which this was referenced in Cry for Justice. Yeah. But as in the case of what they were here for, yeah, they're here for like one character who... Yeah, and also, the Shot can also fix fix Dr. Light's powers, restore her powers, which I like the fact they did that. Gotta love this cover image of these two about to fight. You want to fight? Bam! Start fighting. Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, it wasn't until Hardware finally was confronted with just like on his own. Oh yeah, here's Rocket, because of course Rocket. Yeah, of course when they had this funny thing happen with yeah, by the way, when Hawkman showed up, it was the middle of the fight between the Shadow Cabinet and the Justice League, where basically Blitz was dodging all the arrows of Roy Harper. He's like, hang on there, I got your back. If you're planning to use these, don't. He's like, what? Super speed. Somebody project with one of these. And then he's like, what? You have fast track. He's like, I'm the Flash. He's like, but that's not possible. Nobody's that fast. Actually, there were 2 or 3 people. Yep. I'm the fastest. True. Donner? Will I help here? Apparently, yeah. I thought this was so funny. The fact that she had never heard of the Flash. Yep. Because, well, they're from 2 separate universes. Yep. Yeah, which I thought was so funny. And this all in all was actually a really good book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was actually pure fun. Oh, and the villain that they were wanting to stop the character, building this character, at least his character's debut. This guy, Starbringer. Yep, that's the whole reason for this. And apparently the Shot can report this omnipotent being which Superman meets. And, well, not much is done with it because, well, I heard something that apparently Hardware did join just like right after this. Where he basically, the reason why he joined because he got a crush on Vixen. Yep. Also, Vixen can apparently steal people's powers now for some reason. I don't know why, but she can. This is good, but I think one of the biggest problems with the storyline, well, aside from the trade, the fact skipping through four issues, is the fact that 2 major things happening during the course of this. Final Crisis and Justice League Cry for Justice happening during this same period of time these stories are going on. That's probably the reason why Dan McDuffie left, because he got tired of basically DC editorial interfering with what he wanted to do with this book. That's probably the reason why he left. I did hear rumor he was fired. But yeah, this is the end of his run. But don't worry, I still have 1 trade left coming. Once I review that, I will give my final thoughts on Dan McDuffie's run. Alright. Now moving on to a different book starring Batman, and we have Batman Superman Volume 1, Who is the Secret Six? Now you're probably thinking Secret Six, but thinking, wait, you mean the Gail Simone team? Nope, completely unrelated. Yeah, this is a new volume started just last year by Joshua Williamson, the writer of The Flash, and writer of Justice League Odyssey, well, the first arc anyways. This book collects the first 6 issues of this run. Yep. 6 issues. Yeah, first 6 issues. And the artwork is done by Dave Marquez. You're thinking, wait, Dave Marquez, isn't he a Marvel artist? What the heck is doing in DC? Well, he draws these issues. Now, this storyline here was set up in the Batman Who Laughs miniseries done by Scott Snyder with Jock on the artwork. Yeah, this is a follow-up to that without Scott Snyder involved. Now, the Secret Six are the 6 infected people. Now, it was shown at the end of The Batman Who Laughs that Commissioner Gordon got infected, so he is one of the 6. Who are the others? Well, during a fight with Commissioner Gordon, we actually have them confronted by Captain Marvel. Yep. Now, here are the other members who get infected here, aside from Captain Marvel. We also have the Blue Beetle. Yeah, he gets infected. Yeah, prior to this, I don't think he did anything prior to this storyline. I think his last known appearance was back in 2017. At the time this series started last year, he had not appeared in a comic book in 2 years. We also have Hawkman and Supergirl. Yes, Supergirl got infected during the course of this storyline. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. Oh, and in case you're wondering, this storyline is a tie-in storyline to Year of the Villain. And this is a crossover tie-in to that one. Plus, this one did have tie-in one-shots. We have effective one-shot for Blue Beetle. We have one for Shazam. We have one for, Hawkman. We had it in his own book, along with Supergirl in her book, too. Yep, and by the end of the storyline, mostly everybody who is infected has pretty much been cured except for Commissioner Gordon, who has been imprisoned at the Hall of Justice. We also appearance by the Just Like Watchtower in here. Yeah, one of the ultimate versions. And also appearance by, and apparently I thought this was so cool, the fact that Josh Williamson had Dave Marquez do this. We actually have Batman and Superman going to the Batcave of the Batman Who Laughs, and apparently his trophy case is full of the dead corpses of the Justice League and the Teen Titans. Because the Batman Who Laughs is insane. Seriously, he is. He's freaking insane. This storyline overall is really good. I know Frontivia is not a fan of the Year of Villain stuff, but I love the Year of Villain stuff. It has sort of a similar feeling to Dark Reign. Very similar feeling. The only difference is we're not having, like, let's say, we do have, now the main villain of the particular Year villain was Lex Luthor. Of course, Scott Snyder was building up in the pages of Justice League. I like the fact that all the books are basically much more connected than they have been in the years. And this storyline overall, really good. And looking up after this, now the whole tie-in infected storyline with this one, and of course being part of Year of the Villain, it's only for this one story, and after that it does its own thing. I give this book rough. Oh yeah, also Superman got briefly affected by it. Yeah, Superman got affected by it. But this storyline is really, really good. I give this book roughly a 9. I give this book roughly a 9.5 out of 10. I thoroughly enjoy this thing. By the way, this hardcover cost $25. Yep. But yeah, that's particularly it for this particular review. I'm going to do 2 more videos, and then I'll do another Comic Corner. Next one will be a review of newest chapter from One Piece. Okay, see you next video. Bye.